Good morning, I'm Mark from TMS Kia in Hinckley. Just going to do a bit of a drive and presentation of the Kia Sorento. So as you can see, I'm in the new Sorento at the moment, which is a plug-in hybrid. So that it has a 1.6 petrol engine as well as hybrid batteries. Fully charged, it will allow me to do around about 33 miles on pure electricity before kicking into self-charge. So I've deliberately made sure that the battery is not fully charged, so I can demonstrate that. Down here we've got the indicator. They'll actually show you the battery level. At the moment it's not in the plug-in hybrid mode because it's not fully charged. However, it is driving in self-charge. So as I'm driving along, when I start braking or I'm coasting to a junction, you'll see that level go up and the battery will actually keep charging itself as I go. The great thing about that is that it actually drives the self-charging, but if you have the ability to plug it in, you can quite easily get 33 miles of using no fuel at all and just running on the battery. The other great thing about that is that while it's charging, if I need to accelerate, it will use the battery and the engine together to give me more performance. So if I'm trying to pull off or I'm trying to join a dual carriageway or motorway, I get that little bit more oomph from the batteries just to get me going. And then once I'm going, that'll go back into self-charge mode. And because it is switching between the petrol and the hybrid battery, it actually means that I'm getting a lot better fuel consumption from the 1.6 petrol than I would normally without the hybrid batteries installed. So you can see there, it's averaging around about 50.1 miles per gallon, which for a 1.6 petrol in such a big car, because the Sorento is a 7-seater, is actually really not that bad. The other thing it does as well is the car is really quiet because of its coasting around on the battery. Gives me more chance to enjoy my music or a conversation if I've got passengers. And then I want to move on to the displays a little bit. So in front of me I've got all the driver's cockpit, so you can see my speed, you can see what mile per gallon I'm getting. I've got all information there in terms of whether it's in battery mode, lane keeping is on, what gear it's in. Talking of gears, it is shift by wire, so I have reverse neutral drive, and all I have to do is hold the foot brake in and then choose which gear I want. No clunky gear stick, and also it gives me a lot more space for the cockpit, which then allows me then to have quite big cup holders, so not just for cups, but if I've got bottles as well, it's ideal. And I've also got a lot of storage here, so if I wanted to put my phone in there while it's on charge, I can do. I've also got the wireless charging pad, so I can put my phone on charge and charge it via that. But also, I've also got a USB fast charge. So what that means is that I could have a tablet, another phone. For me personally, it's my children's tablets, and they will charge a lot quicker than just a normal USB port. So while you're on short journeys, you can actually get decent charge out of them. Also means I've got a lot more room for my armrest, so if I'm doing long journeys, I can be comfortable. And then in front of me here, I've got everything I need in terms of the user's display. I can use for my maps and my navigation. Because of the height of it as well, it's actually quite easy to use if I am trying to set a destination. I've got my radio, my media as well, so Bluetooth, all on there. I can also have my phone calls coming through, so when someone rings me, it will pop up on this display. And because it's in my eye line, it's actually quite easy to see the name of who's calling me and whether I want to accept it or not. And then I can also have a look at the plug-in EV screen as well. So what that'll do is that'll show me how much range of EV I've got left, which at the moment, because I've run the battery down, is 0, but that will creep up the more I drive. And then I also have the energy information, so that shows me what percentage the battery is. At the moment it's on 14%, but as I start braking and coasting, that percentage will go up. And then I've got the charge management, so I can set when it will charge, so I can do scheduled charging, how much it will charge up to. So if I'm out and about, I don't always necessarily want it to be at 100% charge. And then I can also see with the eco driving how well I'm driving the car, and also how many pounds of CO2 I've saved by driving in electric mode versus the battery as well. So I've got all that information in front of me. But then we've got here all the temperature controls, which again, they've put them at a slight angle to make it a bit easier to use, so that when you are driving along, they're not all just on a flat surface. And it's dual zone climate, and it's automatic as well. What we have done with the automatic is, rather than just pressing a button, automatic, that's it, the fans come on as fast as they want to. We've actually now got 3 modes, so you can have it on high, medium or low setting. So for instance, with the low setting, if I wanted the temperature to be 25, rather than it just blasting in as quick as it can to get me to 25, it'll do it gradually. So if I'm trying to hold a conversation with someone, I've not got the fans on full blast. Now I'm going to move on to the steering wheel a little bit, because very standard to pretty much every other Kia model. I've got all my voice command buttons, so I can set a destination, I can make a phone call, all via using my voice, so I'm not having to press buttons, or I can manually take over the controls. If I press the phone button there, it will actually bring up my call list, and then also all my contacts, and then on the screen I can press which one I want and call them. But I can also answer and cancel calls with that. And then on the right side, I've got all my user settings to the screen in front of me, so that I control all the driving aids and stuff that are there. I've also got cruise control built in, so I can actually set the cruise control to where I want it, and that will then take over them. It means I can take my feet off the pedals and relax my feet down. So if I am on a long journey, that will mean that I'm not constantly on my feet with pedals. It also has got the lane keeping as well, so if you are doing long distance motorway driving, it will keep you within the white lines. We have also added lane centering, so you will get a bit more input from the steering by using it. However, what it will do is it will monitor the lane that you're in and the white lines, and try and keep you centered in that lane. So if you are going to use that, just be prepared for a few more slight tweak inputs from the car. And I can also set my distance from the cars in front as well. So you get 3 settings with that: 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths and 1. So whichever you're comfortable with, you can set it on the steering wheel. And then I've got the flappy paddles, and they will change the gear of the 1.6 petrol engine. So if I'm going downhill, I can quite easily select a lower gear, or again, if I'm on ice and snow, I can select a higher gear and take over it. That becomes very useful considering that you don't have a manual gear stick with the option of plus and minus gears, so you've got them on the flappy paddles. And then, as you'd expect from Kia, with the indicators and wipers, I've got automatic lights, and I've got automatic wipers as well. We have also on the roof lining here, so you've got your courtesy lights and your reading lights, but also we've got this SOS button, which in the event that you're in an accident where the airbags deploy, it will actually bring the emergency services, so they can actually talk to you and you can explain what's gone on. But also if you see an accident, you can press it and report it as well. So if someone necessarily hasn't got that feature, it is something you can use to assist other road users as well. One of the big things that I like about the Sorento, not just its size for being a 7-seater, but actually, because of the width of it, how much viewing I've got from the driver's seat. So I can see quite clearly over the bonnet, I can see where the bonnet is, which is also another added benefit. But also, I've got quite a big window, so I've got very little in terms of blind spots while I'm driving along. And with the aid of these windows as well, it does help keep that A-pillar as small as it can. So, we've had a bit of a drive of the Sorento. I'm just going to go through a few of the features for it and some of the useful facts with the Sorento as well. So as we go on the side, so you've got here your charging port for the plug-in hybrid. So literally you get the cables left with the car, you plug it in, link it up to your box, and that will start charging it. And I'll also show you the bag. We do also have the emergency charger as well. So if you don't have a charging socket at home, don't worry, you can use a 3-pin plug. We'll charge a bit slower, but it does give you that ability to charge it up anyway. So as we go around the back, at the moment the Sorento is set up in a 5-seater mode. So I've got the 5 seats up front and a very large boot, which is very handy if I'm using bikes, if I've got camping equipment. This one here is the emergency charger box, so you've got that there. You can either keep it in the car as it is or put it elsewhere if you are loading the boot up. And then in here we also do have the charging cables, so if you do have a home charging unit or you stop at a service centre, you can charge it up as well. So for now I'm just going to move them out of the way. And then in the boot, I mean, we do have the boot liner in here, but you've actually got cup holders and stuff built in for when you are using the 7 seats. But the boot liner will come out, and that will then give me access to the parcel shelf, which again will come out. Now, if you've ever wondered where you're going to store this when you've got people with you, if you have the diesel variety, you will be able to store it under here, but because we have the plug-in hybrid, this is where all my batteries are. Even so, Kia have thought about that, and I actually can put this down here where it locks into place. It keeps it firmly in the boot, therefore there's no need to take it out of the car and get it lost. Now that that's out of the way, I can actually move the front seats out of the way, and then pulling these straps, that will lift up the rear seats, which also do come with headrests built in, and vice versa. So they're both in there. Now, while it's in 7-seater mode, I don't have a massive amount of boot space. However, believe it or not, you still can get 2 suitcases in. So if you're going on holiday, you've still got plenty of room to get suitcases in and clothes. Now that that's up, I'm just going to take you back around the other side and show you how we get in and out of the car. Now that we're in 7-seater mode, if you want to follow me, I'm just going to jump in the back and just demonstrate some of the room for you. So, I'm 6 foot tall, and as you can see, I've still got plenty of headroom in the back of this vehicle. So if we were on short or long distance drives, I'm not going to be catching my head. Great thing about the seats as well is that when they come back, I've still got plenty of room in the back, and you've still got plenty of room in the front as well. I can also alter the middle seats, and I'll show you that in a bit. But as you can see, at the moment, I'm sat here. I also have got my own controls for the heating itself. So if it is a bit too hot or cold for me, I can turn that on and off. And I've got my own storage and cup holders. And one thing Kia have done is they've actually put USB ports into the sides as well. So if you're in the back, so you've got your phones or tablets or iPads, you can charge them whilst you're driving. You're not going to run out of battery and get bored while you're sat in the back here. There's plenty of room because they're not small seats, they're quite big, so plenty of room for 2 adults in the back. And then when it comes to getting out, instead of having to struggle to try and find a lever down here to get out, I can press the button on here and that will allow me out of the car. Now, when we're looking at the middle row seats, as you can see, they've got plenty of leg room. And just as a hypothetical, my passengers in the back say to me, "Mark, my legs are hurting, I haven't got enough room." Underneath here, I've got a little bar I can move, so that I give them a bit more room, and then I've still got plenty of room. As I said, I'm 6 foot tall, to actually sit in the back. Now, if you look at the middle row seats, you will actually see a comparable difference in terms of leg room by moving the seats forward. The other thing you've got as well is you can move them all the way forward, if you are storing things in the back as well. So if you've got one passenger in the rear of the car but you wanted to get another suitcase in, you can put that in right behind there and then just slide the seat back when you're ready, and that will then lock it back into place. Also, your middle row passengers do get the benefit, depending on model, of heated outer seats. So yep, you can get warm bottoms in the back of the car, but also if it's a bit too sunny, you get the inbuilt blinds. So not having to put suckers on the window and them blowing out the windows, they are inbuilt to the car, so you can put them up and down whenever you're ready. I'm Mark, I'm the product specialist at TMS Kia. I just want to thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or pop in and see us. Thank you very much for watching.